Good morning, good morning, good morning. We'll turn a little air conditioner on. I shouldn't have put on this hoodie this morning. It's not really cold in here. This weather here is crazy. Some days it's hot, some days it's cold. All right, today we're going to talk about delusional Cowboy fans. We're going to talk about delusional Cowboy fans. Apparently, we were all supposed to be very upset and mad that we lost to the Ravens, but I didn't get the memo that we were like supposed to beat the Ravens. I don't think of us as a team that is actually good enough to beat the Ravens. So I don't understand where all this anger is coming from. I mean, it's just like, why are you mad? This is our team. Good morning, Gio. This is what we are. We don't expect anything for a long time. And with me personally, I just sit back and I don't laugh, but I shake my head because good morning, Tori. I get kickback every time I try to calm down Dallas Cowboy fans. I give you an example. This season, this particular season. What's up, Calvin? This particular season, I was trying to explain to people how the offensive line is going to be messed up. That's kind of my thing about having to make sure Dak gets his contract, because you're going to be behind the offensive line. And you might get hurt because you're going to get hit a lot. You're gonna be trying, and not only are you gonna get hit a lot, you're gonna throw a lot of interceptions. You're gonna have bad performances. It's gonna be a whole different Dak Prescott at the end of this year than it was at the end of last year. I knew that coming into this season because of our offensive line, but you let training camp get you drunk on these two rookies, and that's almost impossible. One of them I really love, and I expect the world of them. But you have to understand that rookies on the offensive line. And it's going to be leaky all year. It's going to be mistakes and holds and this and that, illegal man downfield and la, 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 all year, because they're learning. So we were expecting them, because, well, Tyron played bad last year. Tyron is still a veteran. You can't think that a rookie would come in and be able to play to the level of Tyron, but that's what Cowboy fans were thinking. I mean, not even BB and Biotish. Biotish has so much experience. He has so much time in the offense. It's gonna be an adjustment period for these young offensive linemen to get to where we were on the offensive line as of last year. And then we haven't addressed that right tackle. They just ignored right tackle this year. Like, we didn't really have that many problems at right tackle last year. Let's just throw him back out there and see if it works out this year. That's the plan that we had at right tackle. So that's our offensive line. And we drank that Kool-Aid from the training camp, and then when it goes against a good team, that's what's going to happen. I'll get to the D in a second. The defense is the one shocking thing from this year, I will say. The defense is the one thing that I did not think was going to be this bad, and it was. And it was. Yeah, Bobby Bottles, yeah. The team always start off slow. I'm not expecting, I was expecting like 7 losses this year, 6 or 7 losses this year. And if 2 of those came from that Saints team on that day, because they didn't play the same way yesterday. The losing to the Saints on that day, because the Saints will be in the playoffs, and the Ravens will be in the playoffs. We basically just lost to 2 playoff teams. Now, Thursday, if they lay an egg versus the Giants, then Houston, we have a problem. You know what I'm saying? We have a serious problem because that's the identity of our football team. You play the good teams and you fall short. You play the bad teams and it makes you look good again, and then they pump you up. And then you play a good team again, and then you'll fall short against that good team. So that's just the circular motion we've been in since like right when Romo got here. No, we don't have performance anxiety. We're just not that good. That was another thing. Derrick Henry 150 run. That was beautiful. The Derrick Henry getting all those yards. I just wonder how Jerry Jones feels this morning. When everybody, even me, who really settled on Derrick Henry because I've been wanting running backs. Like draft after draft after draft. I've been wanting running backs. Devon A-Chain was the one I really wanted. I've been wanting running backs like crazy. But Derrick Henry was the one. I was like, can we at least get Derrick? Because it was a trade deadline. And we didn't get Derrick Henry. I said, that's going to bite us in the behind. And sure enough, in the playoffs, it bit us in the behind. And still didn't do anything. So that's my second thing. We have the worst running back room in the league. And that's easy. That's easy. I mean, that's not that you see the proof of it. Our running backs are not good. They're not making any kind of impact on the game whatsoever. They're not helping the pass game. They're not doing anything for us. So that we knew as well. So there was nothing that transpired in that game that we didn't know. The defense, mainly yesterday couldn't. Those two pass, the Kalen Carson missed tackle was big. If he would have just tackled him right there, it would have been a much better showing for the pass defense than it was. But the pass defense, in my opinion, didn't do nearly as bad as the run defense. Nearly. That was another hyped up thing. Our linebacker core was hyped up. I remember I made a video about telling me how we're better than last year because it was hard for me to understand how we're better from last year. And a lot of people came back saying our linebackers, we really have linebackers now. And a lot of other people were saying Zimmer. So those were 2 points that were hyped up tremendously coming out of Cowboys camp, out of Jerry Jones media. It was this defense. We've got linebackers now. We've got Zimmer, blah, 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 blah. So that was supposed to be the thing that made us a little bit better, that could offset all those losses on the offensive side. But what we really got in reality is the same defense we had last year and less on offense. So that's what we're putting out there this year. So I don't know why people are expecting them to win against good teams. They're not. It's just the only way we'll beat a good team is if we're on our game or if they're not on their game. And that happens in the NFL. CD, sure we didn't hire Mike Nolan again. I know, Kyle. The only thing that really bothers me as far as looking in the future in that game is CeeDee Lamb. He confuses me, guys. I don't get what's in his head. Can somebody explain that to me? Of why even like T.O., I understood what was in T.O.'s head. Even though T.O. was crazy, T.O. was wild, T.O. wanted to win, and T.O. got emotional. T.O. started, you know what I'm saying? I understood what T.O.'s crazy was coming from. But with CeeDee Lamb, I don't get it. It's like you don't see how you're affecting the game. I mean I just got on my daughter because they had a tough game against a tough basketball team, and their main star, they got one girl that's just like, she's just nasty. She just hits everything. Well, she wasn't there this game, and the girls was kind of freaking out a little bit of what they were going to do, how they was going to get their points or whatnot. And Kai was hitting her shots that game. So she was like, bam, 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 bam. And then the girls start bickering You know what I'm saying? With who to guard who and all that kind of stuff. And I had to get out there. I was like, stop, stop. And I had to explain. They ended up losing the game 24-10. And I had to explain to Kai, that's why you lost. You disengaged from the game and started engaging with each other. And this is a 10-year-old I'm having to teach this to. Mistakes happen in a football game. You're not always going to get the ball. There's going to be fumbles. There's going to be all kind of things in the game. You got to move forward. And I don't understand a grown person that has the mentality of whining about something that happened yesterday, a few minutes ago. I mean, a grown person needs therapy for something like this, right? So I don't know how my issue is, since we just saw it in Green Bay versus Green Bay, and everybody knows that he was a significant part of that downfall in Green Bay with his antics. Did nobody say a word to him? Did nobody even talk to him about the situation? Nobody. Mr. Skill said, I don't think CD respects the other wide receivers on the team. Nobody respects the other wide receivers on the team. They got to earn their respect. But still, CD has to understand, forcing the ball in at him causes turnovers. And in a game like that yesterday, the only reason why we had a chance at the end, and we did have a chance at the end, if we could have peanut punched that ball out of their hands on third down, Diggs, when Diggs tried to stop that catch, if we'd have stopped that catch, this game would have won. I don't want to say we would have won, but we would have won in the overtime because we would have got the ball at least to that star. And that's all you got to do is get the ball to that star, and we got the 3 points. So we wouldn't have had that opportunity if we were forcing that ball in there to CD, because we know that CD is our only option. So don't you think the defenses know that CD is the only option? And they're just hovering over CD and baiting with CD? Don't you think the defense is doing that? Like, I know Dak is going to throw it to CD. I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to sit back and wait and look at Dak. And when he throws it over there, I'm going to take it to the house. Don't you think they're doing that? These other wide receivers, Dak has to get the ball to them because they have to establish themselves. If they have any talent, they have to show us that they have talent. So they have to show the league they have talent so the league can start paying attention to them and get off CD. So a real grown-up human being would be like, man, my teammates, I need to help get them going, because getting my teammates going gets me going. Throwing you the ball on every down, that doesn't mean anything. Oh, he's talking about, Jerry Jones is talking about how we couldn't afford Derrick Henry. He said, as simple as that, we couldn't afford Derrick Henry. He's so full of it. Why is he? Somebody get Jerry out of there. Baltimore should not have let off the gas. If they did let off the gas, they should not have let off the gas. Yeah, CD and Dak, exactly. They don't click like we want them to. They are not Montana and Rice, like Belichick says. They're like, hey, man, you're in Singapore. I won't be in Singapore in a few months. No. Yes, no, I've been to Singapore, Darth, man. I've been to Singapore before, and the kids are about to go, and wow, this is crazy. We just bought the plane tickets last night to go to Singapore because instead of doing gifts to each other and all that kind of stuff, we go on Christmas vacations. And last year, of course, we went to Japan with the kids, and we told the kids how great Singapore is. So we're going to Singapore, and we're going to Bali as well. So yes, man, yes. I had a monkey. She sat right there and ate a banana or something. Okay, back to the Cowboys. But Singapore, yeah. Yeah, Amari Cooper as another having another target on the side, and then also, if CD's out, then you can already just put an L on us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just not going to happen. What did Cal Cullen say? I missed it. No, the season's not a wash. Uh, but I think the season still is what it is. I don't think the season was going to be fruitful. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think the season was going to be like. I want to win the NFC East. That's my thing, and then I don't care. If we're not winning in the NFC East, I want to be, how many wins we got? One. I want to be 1-16. Is that it? Would it be 1-16? I want to be 1-16. If we can't win, either win the NFC East or 1-16. That's where I want to be. Nowhere in between. The season was washed before the season started, as far as doing anything. That's why I got to talk about delusional Cowboy fans. Before the season started, the season was washed. Before the season started, we had literally no chance to win a Super Bowl or go to an NFC championship game or anything like that. Literally no chance. But then after week one, when they start talking us up after beating Cleveland, then people are like, well, maybe we can go. I'm not gonna say anything until we get to the NFC Championship game, though. No, we're not gonna get to the NFC Championship game. Get that out of your head. That's part of the delusion. They pump us up. The media, the Cowboys media pumps us up, and the national media pumps us up when we start winning. The Cowboys media pumps us up during the offseason and during training camp and things of that sort. And then when we start winning games, that's when the TV takes over. But we're still the same team. We made zero moves to make it be a better team from last year. Why would you expect us to be better in any way, shape, or form? I want weapons, because that's the one thing that changes your team. If you start getting the ball out of our quarterback's hands quickly to players that can get the ball and take it to the house, or get the ball and make people miss a lot of tackles and things of that sort, then you help your quarterback out a lot. And the league has went to these hybrid like running back / wide receiver type things. Like Bijan Robinson is one of them. You know what I'm saying? They can catch balls out of the backfield like a wide receiver. They're slippery like a running back. You can run them out of the backfield. There's a whole bunch of them around here. If we can just put a bunch of those little guys around CD that could just like get busy, and not little gimmick guys like Turpin. Turpin played great for us yesterday. I'm very impressed with Turpin so far this year in comparison to what he's done before. He's done more this year for sure. But some legit talent, man. Give me some Tez. Give me some Tez from Oregon. You know what I'm saying? One of those guys that get the ball and got somebody with some serious juice. That's what I want to get. I don't know personally, but I know there's some guys in Texas. I know there's some guys in Alabama. I know there's some guys in Oregon. I know there's some guys in Georgia that can take a ball and make a whole lot of people miss. And it's not Deuce. Deuce is a gimmick. Again, I love Deuce. I hope the best for Deuce, but it's just not working out for Deuce. I was really into that hype, the Deuce Vaughn hype. I even looked in buying a jersey. What's up, angry Cowboys fan? Rico played okay, but it was extremely ineffective. Our running game was still extremely ineffective. So our running game didn't help our game at all. Or you said Levi said Luther Burden out of Mizzou. Jerry and his 8.5 inches. Deuce is a victim of the scheme. I can get that. I get that. Because they angry Cowboys fan. That's what we were saying during the stream. Why are we running Deuce up the middle? Deuce Vaughn up the middle. That's our run game. Find the smallest guy. Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, the offensive line. Our offense is basically Ferguson, Dak, and CD. And Dak and CD don't like each other. Because I really don't think Dak's like CD after yesterday. He had some real strong words, and it felt like it was pointed at CD. So Dak loves Ferguson. Him and Ferguson they're gonna have a great connection moving forward. But Dak and CD, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand why that situation is like that. Jerry said we're good on running backs. I know. And I know. He talks down to us like we don't know. And that's the main thing that gets me with the Joneses. They talk down to us like they've been winning championships and going to the playoffs. Like they know, and what we're saying is ridiculous. And I mean, nobody is saying to pick, make your number one pick in the draft for running back. But shouldn't we at least invest in a running back a couple of drafts here and there in the first few rounds? Like a third. I mean, I think Pollard was the last one we drafted. Shouldn't we have drafted another one like a couple of years after Pollard instead of, all those busts that we got out of Michigan? It was beautiful watching Henry make Jerry look like a fool. It was beautiful. He said we couldn't afford him. Jerry. Jerry knows the fans are delusional and will show up. So that's what my thing is. Delusional Cowboy fans. And these are the Cowboy fans that for some reason think we're good and get overly upset. I mean, we lost to the Ravens by 3 points, and people were acting like it was like the worst thing that ever happened to the Cowboys, like the worst failure in the world. And if you had just saw that score after the game, you were like, oh. Because the Ravens were supposed to beat us. There was not an inch of my being that thought we were going to go into that game and beat the Ravens. So how could you be upset coming out? And then the other side of what you're just saying, the people that just blindly follow, do not question, go Cowboys, we're going to do this. Those type that always show up. I mean, it's like, I don't want to say anything bad about those guys. The other guys I don't care about. But I like the guys that show up because that's loyalty. You know what I'm saying? And I look at it as more as a bad thing on Jerry Jones because he's taking advantage of these people. These people are going to be loyal, period. So you can't stop them from supporting their team or saying go Cowboys or I still love my Cowboys and all that kind of stuff after they let us down and all that kind of stuff. You can't stop them from being loyal like that because that's just who they are, and that's beautiful, to be honest. What's nasty is when people take advantage of loyal people. And that's what Jerry does. Oh, here comes the Eagles. Man. Two dudes running into each other. Boom, save the game. Because you know, Eagles champ 34. I'm glad you came in here so I can talk junk about the Eagles. You know, if those dudes didn't run each other, y'all wasn't scoring nothing. You know it. Dallas Goedert running down the sidelines was the last thing you thought you was going to see. You know it. So we'll see. We'll see, you Eagles fans. I had to tell you all last year, and I feel like this is going to be a repeat from last year. I told you last year you wasn't that good. And we slipped around and took the division from you. And we really wasn't good. And that's really bad when that ragtag squad last year, which is slightly better than this ragtag squad this year, beat you guys out. That Georgia roster out. That Georgia Alabama roster out. Other than that, so hush until you get the division belt. The belt's right there. The belt's right there. Oh yeah, for sure. RK's, if you gave Jerry the Chiefs, he'd turn them into this Cowboys team and Pat Mahomes into Dak for sure. I know. No, that's what I was saying about Dak. Looking at Carr. Dak. All you had to do is leave. All you had to do is, I mean, you must really like Dallas because I would have been like, this team got some nice receivers over here. This team got a lot of salary cap right here, so we can go there and we can get all kind of stuff. Oh, I'd have been like that. I would have been messing with Jerry Jones. Yes, yes. I'm already done with McCarthy. I've already made up my mind with McCarthy. He's done. He's done to me. There's no way that he can. There's no way in my mind. There's no way McCarthy can coach with these young guys. The Shanahans and the Kubiaks and all these guys. The McVays. He can't coach with these guys. He can't. The game has passed them. What's up, Talkie Talk? Zev Royce. Dak could have been paid. Dak and CD could have been paid a long time ago. For this season, they could have been paid a long time ago for a lot less money and could have had some help in. So no, we are not very good. Everybody's looking to grab onto some kind of narrative because this and we can't afford help. No, money can't buy you that. You got to find good players. The money thing is a whole different thing. You need to concentrate on finding good players, and we don't do that. What's up, Enrique? Good morning. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Beats Bang. That's why I say Beats Bang, he says, don't y'all just hate how the media talk shows right after the Browns win start that, oh, Cowboys are a Super Bowl team talk. Exactly. And those are the people that are mad this morning because we lost to the Ravens. The people who actually thought that we were a Super Bowl team because some people on TV thought it would be good for their brand to say the Cowboys and thought it would be a cool thing to say. Then we just drink that juice up and you think you're going to beat the Ravens? And with Derrick Henry, who's mad at you? Kaylin, I work on my tonal. I hadn't been working on it lately, but I have a tonal. You know, the LeBron James thing, and I love it, actually. Good morning, Vic Greer. Yeah, they're going to start making trades, I'm sure. Because Jerry is not going to let this team not make him money. He's going to be the top team. Jerry's going to win his Super Bowl this year, and that's the team with the most money. Yes, McCarthy and Zimmer are both outdated coaches. Their schemes, their coaching style. Yeah. Man, I do not. Jamal M said I'll take an early draft pick instead of making it into the playoffs to just lose. Man, my worst thing is having draft pick 18 to 22. We always have our pick is between 18 and 22 every year, and I fear it's going to be there this year as well. Exactly, Cal. I'm not even going to say that word, but the Cowboys are like that word. Because Cal Cullen, the algorithm is listening for that word so it can put me places. And I don't want to go there. Sure, I think it's time for Dalvin Cook to get a job. What I mean, what could go what could go wrong? So, somebody said that before the game. We're just playing a highly physical Ravens team that hadn't won a game yet. What could go wrong? So most of us knew we were catching the L yesterday. It's just it is frustrating to watch though. It is very frustrating. I was frustrated right here watching. But when I got up this morning, they're right where I expected them to be. But they're innovative. Now, DJ, DJ. I'm an old man. I think I'm old, but I got all kind of new AI equipment here and all kind of stuff here. No wires. These new cameras. I just showed y'all yesterday. What did I do with it? I got all kind of new stuff. You can be older and be innovative. That's not the thing. But if I just like no, back when I was doing YouTube back in 2015, I had a computer here and a big thing here, and this is how it ran the best, and I want to run it like that. That's what we're saying. We want somebody that buys the new equipment. We want somebody that thinks about how the things work now rather than how things worked yesterday. And Andy Reid is an innovative person. His offense is the furthest from stale that you can even imagine. So, yeah, no, the Chiefs are different. Thank you, Angry Cowboys fan. It's all about change and evolving. Oh, man, it's hot in Memphis, Spark. Jeez. Top of the morning, True Fields. I had to come on a little early. I got to cut my son's hair out. Yeah, and that's what I was trying to explain to Cowboy fans too. The Niners are just a slightly better version of us. They are. We just can't. We just see the Niners as different because they own us, and they're going to beat us again this year probably. But because of scheme, because of what I was saying or whatever. But the 49ers, they hadn't won anything since we won anything. You know what I'm saying? And now they're but you don't see them jumping off cliffs because they're 1-2. And they really lost games they should not have lost. Now, you could say both of those games we lost, we probably should have lost. You can say that Saints are clearly a better football team than us, and I for sure believe that. And the Ravens are for sure a better football team than us. So we lost two games that we probably should have lost. The Rams to come back and beat you in a divisional loss, that's like if on Thursday we're up on the Giants 21-0 and then lose 28-21 to the Giants. How mad would you be? Then it's time to panic. Then it's time to drop. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what happened to the 49ers. That's why I'm saying, Samuel. That's why it looks better from our perspective, because at least they're going to the Super Bowl. But then in their perspective, at least y'all ain't getting toyed with like that. We go to the Super Bowl and lose. Nobody wants to go to the Super Bowl and lose. Those are my 49ers fans out here. So it's like they're in a different type of misery, but they're not they're not losing their minds over this. How do I feel about Kendricks out there? Manuel, did I saw Maris more than Kendricks yesterday? Did Kendricks have a good game yesterday? Because I don't even remember seeing. I'm trying to picture, because I remember Maris making a nasty tackle. Yes, Cal. I think the issue with scouting is hyping up our players, Cal, and we're hyping up Will McClay for as the best talent evaluator in the entire NFL, and where's the proof of that? Where's the proof? Then proof is winning. If you're a talent scout, you go out and you find talented people to come to your organization and win football games. And I just don't know how. No, that wasn't garbage time. That's just a narrative. Angry Cowboys fan, when the Cowboys lose, every Cowboy fan has their own narrative on why we're horrible. And this garbage time stats thing came up a couple of years ago, whatever, and some of them grab onto that. That was a comeback yesterday. And if we had knocked that ball out on that third down, we probably third down, that was a chance to win. If you're within a score with with a minute and something to go, then a comeback is very much possible. So no. It's just one of the narratives. Oh, I guess Kendrick did great. We'll see. I don't know about the Giants' defensive line. All I know is Cleveland. Ravens had 275 yards rushing, gave up 190 yards against the Saints. Big problem is stopping the run, which is the same thing as last year. We're out there looking like the 70s Tampa team. Yeah, exactly, Michael Barris. If you cannot run and you can't stop the run, you have no long-term chance. That's why I kept saying we have zero chance to do anything late in the season or whatever, because those two elements will, because you're trying to win the game. It ain't trying to score all the points or whatever. At that point, you're trying to win the game. And sometimes when you're trying to win the game, you got to hold on to that football, and you got to just run for that first down, and you got to hold on to the football and you got to run for another first down. And then you got to use the play action from those runs and hit them over the top, because they're covering everybody in the backfield, because they're a great team. You're playing good teams in the playoffs. So we're not built to be able to do that. So again, if we get there and win, it's straight luck. I am jealous of what I am jealous of what the Lions have as well. That's almost like my perfect offense. That is almost like every one of those players that they have. I want a speedy back. I need that can catch out the backfield. I need a big power back that can run over anybody. I need a super fast, ridiculously fast receiver that will stretch the field and take your corners and safeties that way. I want another receiver that catches everything in space that cannot be covered in like a Cole Beasley type, but bigger with Amon-Ra. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Yeah, Dak is going to be sacked a lot this year. It's just the offensive line learning. A quitting team is worse than a team that's lack talent. Exactly. Exactly. I can't. Yeah, a quitting team is disgusting. Yeah, if we beat the next two teams, but one of them's tough. I know we got the Giants. Who we have after Giants? Yep. Yes, sir, Chris. Hey, Samuel Hayes. I don't know. I wouldn't. I would not. I would not bank my soul on any of these college quarterbacks because you do not know who's good and who's not good. I would not. I would not. You can do it. I would not. Going down that finding the quarterback path is like, ugh. The formula building a strong O line first. Yep. So that's kind of what we're doing. And it's like I don't understand, but before the Dak Prescott contract, but now I kind of understand that they're building the line for him for the future. So they're going to build a line for him for the future. But what are we going to put around him as far as running backs and wide receivers? Because clearly, when we look at this, I'm telling you, if you don't go back and look at some of our old rosters and look how bad they were, and you thought they were good at the time. This year, this roster, five years from now, when you look back at this roster, you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, that was a horrible roster." And go back and look at ours before with Noah Brown and and Gallup being, and neither one of them are in the NFL anymore. So that those rosters are going to look really bad unless they come back in the NFL and make a name for themselves. So our rosters are bad. We lost like 3, and it feels like we lost by 30. Yeah, the whole Steele thing, like, I don't know why nobody was talking about Steele in the preseason when they were talking about the offensive line. Don't you know he really almost got Dak murdered like several times last year? No, he straight up lied. Jerry still won't be accountable for and be real with us. No, he straight up lied. They said we didn't have the money. We couldn't afford Henry. That's why I didn't get Henry. We couldn't afford him. He's so lost. Money is a crazy thing, man. Totally deranged people can do whatever they want as long as they got a bunch of money. It's a crazy world we live in. And people with kisses behind too. You can have people, you can just say and do whatever you want and people will kiss your behind. You got a bunch of money. It's crazy. Yeah, Jace. Romo had some years where it was they did Romo the same. I remember because I got mad when after TO and we said we're gonna do more. Remember the more with less. We're gonna do Jerry's line when we got rid of TO. We're gonna do more with less. Um, uh, yeah. So Tony got done like that a couple of times, and I remember going to training camp sometimes, and it was Dez Bryant and Cole Beasley, and then they just didn't look good. The rest of them, none of them just looked like they could do anything out there. So it was like bam, bam, and then a big dip. But still, Dez, Beasley, and Witt, that was enough. That was way more than we got right now. And Murray. Yeah, the Chiefs built their team first. The Chiefs built their team first, and they got to the playoffs, and I think they got to the divisional round with Alex Smith. So they got to the playoffs with the most pedestrian quarterback that you can have. And they made Mahomes sit through that season and watch or whatever. And then Mahomes took over, and he just took that team from here to here. So it's a team thing and it's a Mahomes thing. Good morning, Sadiq. I came a little early. I got to cut that boy's hair this morning. The Cowboys players that don't show up for training camp. Yeah, Mahomes is one of one. He's a special talent. He's a special talent that was fortunate enough to go to the best place possible. And I would say that there would have been a bunch of quarterbacks that would have still had a lot of success in Kansas City. None would have had more success than Patrick Mahomes. We'll say that. I know. Yeah, the problem is the culture. Uh, thanks, angry Cowboys fan. Do we fire anyone if we lose the Giants game? Look, I will. Then you will get my anger. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. That's what they talk. They showing Michael Parsons yelling. Yeah, that they are 100% right. They're on the sidelines bickering. I that would be very good in Kansas City. I don't know if you know what I can't even say because the Dak Prescott that we have now, we built this dude. You know what I'm saying? There's no telling how Andy Reid would have built him because he was a runner, man. He looked like um, Steve McNair. He looked like Aaron McNair in college, but we took him and turned him into a passer, and I was mad about the whole thing. I said, you turned Dak into Romo. Now we got the same quarterback for 30 years. Dak was on a fourth round deal for 4 years, and they gave him Allen Hurns, I remember, and Tavon Austin. Jerry Jones will only get serious when it starts hitting his pocketbook. Exactly. Kenny start. Look, Mason says, "Morning, Shango. Good morning, Mason. I bet if we lose the Giants, Jerry Jones will start cleaning house. That would be a complete embarrassment to him. He's an embarrassment to us. Can he clean himself out? Can he get so angry that he cleans himself out because he's an embarrassment to us? He's 8.5 inches of embarrassment to us." Yep. We need more weapons. We need weapons, not just a weapon. We need weapons and a coaching scheme. I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand CD, Sadiqa. I don't understand the mentality of that. And before you got here, I told everybody I had to have a sit down with my daughter because she was having a great game, and then the other team started coming back, and they start bickering out there, and that's why they lost the game. And it was clearly you could see it them not gelling anymore after they start gelling. So that was a lesson I had to teach my daughter. Who's going to tell CD this stuff? You know his mama ain't. Yeah, 44-6 was not embarrassment. Exactly. Good morning, John Jones. The offense is going to be simple like this all year. The offense has no ability to be anything other than simple. I just thought the defense was going to be a little bit better. They're 6-9. Yeah, exactly. The Jones aren't football people. They're money people. Yeah, we're still recovering. I think we're still recovering from New Orleans because that was the defensive shock. The defense yesterday did not play as bad as they played in New Orleans. They didn't play as bad, which is almost impossible. If you can tell CD is fed up with Dak, then why sign the contract? Then why sign the contract? Why don't you go somewhere? I don't think he's fed up with him. I think he's just an a-hole. You went to Bali this year? ATVN. We had fun. I think Jim Barin. I didn't like the jungle in Bali as much as I liked the beach. The beach was much better. Overshown was another one that was completely hyped up. Completely hyped up. But hey, the upside, we didn't give up 40 something points. That was the first time at home that we didn't give up 40 something points in a long time. Hey, baby steps. Lamb has quit in him. That's what I see. Oh, who did he stiff arm? They're showing Henry highlights right now. Derrick Henry running through the. Wow, he just walked through it. Yeah. Most wide receivers are divas. Yeah, but he's got DJ Jamil. He's got to stop it because that's how we lose. That's how we lose. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, Romo was the interception thrower too, Jace. You can't let the quarterbacks can't let those diva receivers get in their heads. They got to do what they're supposed to do. Carson. Oh, Carson had a tough game. Carson had a tough game. That stiff arm was nasty. You left it for Jerry. Carson had a tough game. Man, come on, Bland. All right, what's up, Noah? Yeah. And the Eagles, Saquon Barkley, man, that move, the major move. If we don't win the division, this is the reason why. It is the Philadelphia Eagles went and got a running back and are using that running back, and the Dallas Cowboys refused to go get a running back and are not using a running back. So that's the difference in the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles right now. Other than they're intensely more talented on defense, at the defensive line position specifically. Gilmore would have been nice to have back. Yeah. Romo friendly offense. Yes, I do remember that. Yep. I think our defense will get better. Yes. Yes. I do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jerry's losing his money. Jerry's losing his money because EWY said it was his first live game, and he said, "Don't waste your money." So if you're not making a good experience for the fans at the stadium, then you're gonna lose money. I didn't. I thought 1 and 2 with Cleveland and the Saints, you could easily see us losing one of those two, and you knew we were losing to the Ravens. So it's very good chance that we were going to start off 1 and 2. Yes, I've seen. I'm paying attention to Pollard. You see, Jerry. That's what I said that, Jace, all the time. Our schemes, every ball that's thrown to a Cowboys receiver, that receiver is contested. Every ball, every pass is contested. We never are running like the Packers were running wide open and catching wide open passes against us. We're never that team that gets to do that. Yeah, our division's bad, Rick Charlton. All Jerry's focusing on the Jake Paul Tyson fight. Yeah, I just the passing game, the tackles couldn't really hold up for that. The passing game, guys, I'm sorry, it's just not going to be there all season. We're not going to. It's just Dak. You have to be comfortable in the pocket, and I don't see him being comfortable in his pocket all season, and because he's going to get rocked over and over and over. Eagles always making moves, Chris. Always making moves. Always doing something. Always trying. The Eagles are always trying, and we're never trying. Tom Brady is. I was like BC. I saw Tony Romo doing the early game. I was like, why is Romo doing an early game? I was like, oh my goodness, Tom Brady done bumped Romo down. I don't think we're going to see another NFC Championship game for a minute. I mean, like I said, we got to have on offense. We got to put. We need at least 3 or 4 good offensive players. We are probably 5 if you include the line, because we need at least 2 on the line, 2 receivers and at least 1 running back. And on defense, I don't know what we need. We need a shaman. We need spiritual help on defense. At time we didn't even look competitive. Yep. No, at the beginning we didn't look competitive. But again, this team plays on a elite level. The Ravens do. That fake and option and Lamar Keppett, that was elite. That was elite. I was looking at that was two times in that game that I was looking at the wrong guy and Lamar was down the field. Two times. So if they tricking me and I'm watching it on TV, just think of how tough it is out there. So the Ravens, they're the Ravens. No run game is a problem because it's twofolds, David. You now have to run like great to get teams to believe that you can run. Because I mean, you can even have a good run game. Look at that's got it running. Third and 16, you get your guys to run into each other. Still is a bigger concern than Guyton. Exactly. 100%. Guyton is in learning mode. Guyton is in learning mode. Guyton could become something great. Still is not becoming something great. Still is Jerry Jones's pick. I remember he loved him. He's so happy he found him. That's showing the third and 16 play. Three different Saints ran into each other. It wasn't just two. It was Tyrann Mathieu, number 31, and number 5. Yep. Okay, I won't go. I won't get the cheese. I try to not mess with cheese anyway. What's up, Jaime? Yeah, still is on our nerves. All right. Oh man, I'm late. Let me go wake the boy up, get him a haircut, get these kids to school, and start my day. It's not a bad Monday. Nobody expected to beat the Ravens. Nobody expected to beat the Ravens, and for it to come down to that score right there, it's not gonna look. It's let's move on. Let's get the Giants because it has to be. We have to focus. We have to focus on next week sooner because it's coming up right now. So today, let's get our sulking in and